So you've come to figure out who is going to be the next president of the United States. I just want to start off by letting you guys know that we are a freshly established polling company and we are not affiliated with either of the two parties. Our methods heavily incorporate the psychological aspect that comes in play when it's time for these presidential elections. So we have the electoral map here that's filled out with all the safe states for either side of the parties. And all the toss-ups are in gray. So we're going to go ahead and fill these out based on our results so far. For Texas, we have noticed a trend of higher Latino and Black voters who are favoring the conservatives, because they're starting to realize that the conservatives do not support racism in general. So they are aligning more to the right. So with Texas, we have Trump at 54.9% versus Biden's 45.1%. So this will be a lean right state. Could be a safe right state, but we're going to go ahead and just write lean right. Okay, with Florida. Florida is a state that's predominantly white in race, so therefore there are more uneducated white voters that historically parrot their neighbors and they vote Republican. Now, when I say uneducated white voters, I do not mean they are stupid. It just means that they have not graduated with a college degree and generally don't get involved with politics around the campus, which usually favors the liberals. They also don't have to worry about student loans, which is a target point for liberal politicians. So with Florida, Trump with 52.6% versus Biden's 47.4%. So this will be a lean right. Now with Georgia, there's not a whole lot going on. Just with raw results, we have Georgia at 52.7% versus Biden's 47.3%. So that is a lean right. Now I'm going to move up here to the top right of the United States and talk a little bit about migrations. The last 4 years, we have seen a spike of conservative voters that have moved from these blue states down here to the Bible Belt area. We do not know if it's part of them getting tired of the economy or the politics that happens up here. But that's going to shift these states more to the left while shifting these states more to the right. So with New Hampshire, we have had people worrying about if it's going to flip to Republicans, but we do not think so. So we have New Hampshire at 48.7% to Trump, with Biden at 52.3%. So this is going to be a lean left state. So with that, we're going to move to North Carolina. This is a hotly contested state, and it's been very close, but with the migrations and the lack of college this year, there has been less propaganda in those colleges. These will end up going to the right a little bit. Whoops. So we're going to have this as a lean right state. So North Carolina is at 51.8% to Trump versus Biden's 48.2%. We're going to go ahead and skip up here to Minnesota. Minnesota there's a lot that has happened with Minnesota lately. The biggest thing is riots and BLM. So with these states, Oregon, Washington, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and parts of, other states, they have been victim to these riots. And with these riots, they have been seen as very negative movements. So when these riots happen, it shifts in the other direction of what those riots stood for. So if these riots stood for the left, the BLM riots, that's going to force these states to go more towards the right. So with Minnesota factoring in those riots and everything, we have Minnesota Trump at 50.5% versus Biden 49.5%. This could flip to the conservatives. Now next we'll talk about Wisconsin. There's not much that has happened between Wisconsin and Michigan. In the past, these have always kind of favored the Democrats. And so we have Wisconsin with Trump at 58.8% versus Biden's 51.2%. So this will be a left lean. With Michigan, we have Trump at 48.1% versus Biden's at 51.9%. So that will also be a left lean. And look how close this race is. This will be one crazy, crazy election. So we just are left with the last two battleground states. So along with the shift of conservatives from up here towards the south to Pennsylvania and Ohio, along with the statements that Biden was phasing out fracking, which is important in Ohio and Pennsylvania. He made the same mistakes as Hillary did when she talked about phasing out coal mining weeks before the election. So these states will definitely go to Trump, right-leaning. We have Ohio at 52.9% versus Biden's 47.1%. With Pennsylvania, we have Trump at 51.5% versus Biden's 48.5%. These two will definitely lean towards the right. So our results has Trump barely winning the race. And whether you guys like that result or not, it's up to you. If you like this content, please like or subscribe down at the bottom. Please leave me a comment what you think. And based on those, I will make better videos with better graphics in the future. So hopefully we'll catch you again, maybe before the election actually comes to a conclusion, which we think the United States will have the final results around November the 7th, after all the ballots are being counted. And hopefully we'll catch you again. Take care.